Okay, welcome to Parallel or Perpendicular Through a Point, Part 2. Now, we tackled this the other day, but I want to give you an entirely refreshed lesson on this, just in case you're still struggling with it. So, find the equation of the line parallel through this line. Now, notice, whenever we talk about parallel or perpendicular, we always care about the slope, or that number in front of the x. So we can say, okay, well, our m1 is negative 5 over 3, and I'm going to find the line that is parallel to this. Well, if you'll recall, parallel means the same. So the parallel slope that I want to use is also negative 5 over 3. And we want to look at this passing through the point 9 comma negative 2. So let's label that x1, y1. And of course, we can now use our formula. Y minus y1 is equal to m parentheses x minus x1. And let's plug in all the things that we know from left to right. Well, I know that I have y minus, and my y1 value is negative 2, is equal to my slope. Well, I know my slope is negative 5 over 3. And of course, this is being multiplied by x minus, and of course, in this case, our x1 value is positive 9. Now, from here, let's go ahead and start doing some simplification. We know that two negatives make a positive, and I can go ahead and bring this up here, and I can say, you know what, y plus 2 is equal to, well, negative 5/3 times x is negative 5 over 3x. But what about negative 5 over 3 times negative 9? Well, remember, we can change that 9 into a fraction by putting it over 1. And we now have negative 5 over 3 times negative 9 over 1. Well, we know that negative times a negative is a positive, and of course 5 times 9 is 45 over 3 times 1 is 3. And check it out. 45 divided by 3 is 15. And so we can add 15 right there. Well, guys, we have one final step. We know we want to get rid of our plus 2 by subtracting 2. We'll get our final equation. Y is equal to negative 5 over 3x plus 13. And guys, this is the equation of the line that is parallel to this given line passing through the point 9 comma negative 2. Okay, and welcome to example 2. Now this one's a little bit trickier. It says find the equation of the line parallel, I guess we'll do parallel again, to 2x plus 7y equals 24. Check it out, guys. We have 2x plus 7y is equal to 24. And you'll notice, in order for us to find the slope, we have to get y by itself. Now we know we can subtract 2x from both sides, minus 2x, minus 2x. And after that zeroes out, well, we now have 7y is equal to 24 minus 2x. And from here, we can divide both sides by 7. And I like to divide each term individually by 7. And we'll get this. Y is equal to 24 over 7 minus 2 over 7x. And notice something. Our slope is this negative 2 over 7. M1 is equal to negative 2 over 7. And I want to recall two things here. One, if we're looking for a parallel slope, well, we'd say our M2 is going to be negative 2 over 7. It's the same thing. But what if I had asked you for parallel? I'm sorry, not parallel, but perpendicular. Well, we'd have negative 2/3 is perpendicular, which would say, okay, you know what, we could say M3 is equal to, remember for perpendicular, you take this and you change it from a negative to a positive, and you flip a fraction to 7 over 2. I only include this, not because we're looking for it, but in case you need to remember how to find a perpendicular slope. Remember, you have to flip your fraction and change the sign. Now, we're not looking for perpendicular. We are looking for parallel. So how are we going to say this? Well, our point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m parentheses x minus x1. And so here we have y minus y1 times m parentheses x minus x1. Let's go ahead and fill all that in. I know that from my point, my x1 value is that negative 7, and I know that my y1 value is going to be that positive 2. And guys, since we're looking for the parallel slope, we know that our slope is going to be negative 2 over 7. Okay, and from here we have a pretty straightforward problem. I know that two negatives make a positive, and so let's see, y minus 2 is equal to, well, we know that negative 2/7 times x is negative 2 over 7x. And of course, guys, negative 2 over 7 times 7 over 1, I want to give you all the coolest trick in the world. If your denominator is a 7 and your numerator is a 7, you can cancel them out. And we have left over a negative 2 over 1, sorry, minus 2 over 1. But guys, y'all know that negative 2 over 1 is really just negative 2. Well, now guys, we have our last little step. We want to get rid of this minus 2, so we can add 2 to both sides, and this will give us y is equal to negative 2 over 7x, and negative 2 plus 2 is a 0 pair, and there's our final formula. Alright, thank you all, and I'll see you guys in our next section.